What's going on, guys? Come back to another fresh commentary. Now guys, I'm sure you guys heard of all the news on what happened yesterday about how much of a mess Travis Scott's Astroworld concert was, and it's all just sad. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Travis Scott held a concert and it was like the most sinister thing. It seemed more of like a ritual than a concert because the man didn't give a crap, and there were definitely some dark stuff going on behind the scenes. But basically, some people collapsed, others fought for air in the crowd filled with 50,000 people. Some people even lifted up the unconscious bodies of friends and strangers and surfaced them over the top of the crowd, hoping to send them to safety, while others shouted out for help with CPR and pleaded for the concert to stop. It was just complete chaos. 300 people were injured, including a 10-year-old boy, and 8 people died. And it's completely Travis Scott's fault. The man had the power to stop what was going on and hold his audience accountable and make sure everything calmed down before continuing the event. But he didn't do just that. When everyone started acting like savages and animals, he just continued on with the show like he didn't care. A bunch of people were calling 911 and were scared out of their minds being stuck in these packed bunches of people. Ambulance even came into the crowd of 50,000 people to help too. And he just announced it and continued on with the show. And that just made things worse for them because they were trying to help people out. And the moment the music came back on, his fans started climbing the vehicle and acting like animals. Also, before the concert, he encouraged people to sneak in and rage and just act crazy for this event. And when they did do that and stuff started getting out of hand, he seemed unfazed by the whole thing. A man and woman were shouting for help and begging him to stop the show because people were not well and they needed help. They were so scared and concerned for other people's lives that they just wanted to end the show. But everyone on set was ignoring them, especially Travis. There was even a point when the dude heard them and said stop the show and then just continued on with the next track. And then stuff progressively got worse and worse as the concert continued. And the worst thing about this whole situation is a lot of people are actually defending this guy. Like, how brain dead do you have to be to actually side with him? It's so sad that people think this is completely fine that this whole thing happened, saying, oh, he didn't hear them with the headset on, and it's not his fault that his fans were acting like that. But bro, that headset is linked with everyone else on set. I'm sure if he says stop or hold on, everything would have came to an halt. Music, lights, everything. I mean, I've seen other huge artists do this when they're concerned for their fans' safety because things are getting too wild, like Playboi Carti and A$AP Rocky. There's a bunch of videos online of big celebrities stopping their performance to help fans out. And I've been to 10 plus concerts, and at least one of them, a fan gets overwhelmed, especially if they're in the front row and they pass out. Like, I went to a Logic concert and a girl passed out because she actually got to meet him and she was in the front row. And he just stopped the whole thing and asked paramedics to go and help her. Even Lil Pump, the guy that gets the most hate in the music industry, stopped his performance when one of his fans passed out. It's just common sense and it shows that you care. And this one video that everybody's comparing Travis to, of A$AP Rocky demanding his fans to stop acting like animals and carry that girl that passed out to the front, or he'll just stop performing. And I think that's exactly what Travis should have done. I wish I could show you footage so you can better understand what I'm talking about, but with sensitive topics like this, you can't show anything, even if they are out there all over the internet. Just go search it up yourself, because for some reason YouTube hates when you put that kind of stuff in your video, even though people actually upload like 5-minute clips of the whole thing online. But either way, there's no excuse. He could have easily spoken to the mic and said, hold on, something's not right, pause the show, or hold on, someone help that girl before I continue. But I guess the man was more focused on his bag than his fans' well-being. If I were in that position, I don't give a crap. I would stop the whole show to save lives. It's just completely unacceptable, and it's sickening that people are genuinely defending this guy and saying that it's the people's fault. And yes, it is true, but he had the power to make everything right. Some people are even joking and fine with the whole thing too. Like, oh, I've been to other concerts, this happens, it doesn't matter. But what in your right mind thinks it's okay for people to die at a freaking music event? We're supposed to be vibing and having fun. Nobody should be worried about their lives during these things, no matter how crazy the fans get. Like, where the hell is the security or crowd control? If they were overwhelmed, they should have just done a better job at organizing the event, because whatever the hell these guys were doing was not enough. All these young people going wild and not a single person there to relax the crowd. It's so sad how people genuinely think that it's normal for people to die or get injured at a concert now in this day and age. Like, bro, I've seen heavy metal concerts that are more safe than this, because at least if something went wrong, the artist on stage, the people on set would have the balls to be a leader and stop what's going on to save lives. It makes sure that their people in the audience is completely okay before continuing. But nah, my man could care less if a couple people pass out. Oh, things are getting wild? Great, let's continue my crappy auto-tune music for my sheep fans to enjoy. It makes me so mad that this guy didn't be a leader and actually help on what's going on, because some people were saying that he was nervous or whatever, and that's completely BS. The man literally stopped an entire concert a couple months ago because a stupid fan took his shoe. So I guess you can stop a concert for a shoe, but not when half of your audience is in panic and danger. Also, the paramedics and police were overwhelmed by the situation, and it was reported that a cop even died on on duty trying to help people out because some maniac was going around injecting people with drugs. Ridiculous. Like, what the hell was going on for things to get this wild? And what's wrong with this guy? Like, he seems so unfazed. He was on something evil too, because when they started carrying a guy who passed out, he just stared at him and kept singing. It was like the creepiest thing ever. If you watch the video online, it's like the most popular clip on this whole event. You get what I'm talking about. It was just so freaking weird and sinister. It just didn't sit right with me. It's like he enjoyed the fact that that guy passed out. And people have been joking around saying that it was like a Fortnite event and he was emoting on him that he's dead, because he's just looking at the guy getting carried away and he just starts dancing and singing like he doesn't even care. He's the only artist I've seen do this. Anybody else would have stopped the show and helped out and be genuinely concerned for that person's life. And if you don't get weird vibes from that, then I don't know what to tell you, because that's not normal. Some people have been doing some digging and confirming that this whole concert was some type of ritual or something evil was going on behind the scenes, because there was merch and signs out there, a freaking text that says "see you on the other side," and people literally died. Yeah, not sus at all. Heard some other YouTubers talk about this as well, and they said that 8 people died and there were 8 flames at the concert. Not to mention the fact that people continued to dance and be happy while people around them were literally dying. And the whole setup was weird. Like, what the hell is this stage? It looks like a freaking portal with an upside down cross, dude. He's definitely on some sus stuff too. I mean, have you seen his Instagram page? Some Illuminati action or something. It's just so sickening how the whole event went downhill. And the entire internet has completely flipped on this guy, including the majority of his audience. I had an old friend that attended the event, and when I found out what happened, I immediately contacted him to make sure he was okay. And even he described the entire thing as traumatizing. Like, he's never seen anything like that before, and he really thought that day was his last. A lot of people have also been questioning how the hell kids were there, because word came out a 10-year-old got injured along with 300 other people, and it's all because of Fortnite. The dude had his little event and he has some young fans now, some of which were at this event. But after this event, I doubt their parents will allow them to attend any more in the future. I mean, if that were my mom, she would forbid me from attending any more concerts for the rest of my life. Music events should not be like this. This should be fun, just a couple people coming together with the common interest of enjoying a show from their favorite artist. But in this case, it was all about survival. You could pass out, suffocate to death because a ton of people were on top of you, and the majority of which were pushing and shoving, and everyone's dehydrated and weak from yelling and dancing. And some people were doing illegal activities, like the guy running around injecting people with stuff. And also, if you do pass out, people wouldn't care because they'll be too busy worrying about the music, and the man himself on stage won't try and assist the situation, even if his fans are in panic. Travis was well aware that some of his fans were dead or injured, and he did nothing. He just went on with his show and didn't care about human life whatsoever. Like I said, he had all the power to make things better and stop the show to give the people who were there a help chance, but it was practically impossible. The people that got there trying to help, people in the crowd were just grinding on them and shoving them around while they were trying to get people out of there. Just shows how selfish people are as well. Like, oh, screw these guys, I'm not gonna make them ruin my good time. I honestly feel so furious and sad at the same time by this news of this event, and especially this man's apology. It seems so ungenuine. Like, after the whole thing, he just went back into his mansion to sleep. He seemed like he was reading off a script on his apology video and forcing himself to try and cry just to look like he cared. And the statement he posted on Twitter is definitely from his team. They just didn't want to get sued. No way in hell he posted that. Just goes to show that you gotta be careful, guys. These artists, the majority of them don't care for you, and concerts aren't safe to go to anymore. It's a life or death situation at this point. If a venue isn't set up to hold that much people, then you have to underperform for safety reasons. If the place can hold 50,000 people, then hold like 20,000 instead, because it'll just make things less worse for everyone if all hell breaks loose, like it did just now. The majority of the time, from what I see, is people performing stops what's going on, if at least one person gets passed out or injured. Because the thing is, if they don't, nobody's going to point their attention to that person who is in need of help. They're just going to go on like nothing happened. So it's their responsibility to stop what's going on and help the people out who need help. It just takes a couple seconds and that's it. Screw the 50k people waiting for music. A couple hundred is in a dire situation. Concerts would not be the same, let me tell you why. Because for here on out, everyone is going to be afraid to attend them. Everyone is now self-aware. If something breaks loose, it's going to be chaos since everyone is going to be in panic. Concerts are just not going to be the same anymore. And there are going to be some strict rules coming up now. And I'm glad, because with this ongoing trend of people dying at concerts, it's unacceptable. Nobody should be losing their lives when trying to enjoy some live music from their favorite artist. Like, what has the world come to? We go 1 year without concerts and people don't know how to act. And the artists choose their performance over human life. It's crazy, man. I just wanted to talk about this because I've been hearing the news everywhere and it's just been bothering me. I had a completely different video planned for today that's going to be going up tomorrow at the same time, 1 p.m. EST. Let me know what you guys think about this whole thing in the comments, because this whole event, this Travis Scott tragedy was the worst. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Stay safe, guys. I love each and every single one of you, and I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace out. Stay blue.